A love to last a lifetime. In a small coastal town, nestled between the sea and the cliffs, lived a woman named Emily. She was known for her radiant smile and the warmth she brought to those around her. But beneath her cheerful exterior lay a heart that had been waiting for its missing piece. Her life was filled with routine, working at the local bakery, taking long walks along the shore, and dreaming of a love that would sweep her off her feet. One stormy evening, fate intervened. The town was buzzing with news of a shipwreck off the coast. Among the survivors was a man named Michael, a quiet artist with eyes that held the depths of the ocean in them. He had come to the town seeking solace and inspiration, but the sea had nearly claimed him. Emily, always the caretaker, volunteered at the makeshift shelter where the survivors were being tended to. That's where their eyes met for the first time. Michael was different from anyone Emily had ever met. He spoke with a gentleness that belied the storms he had weathered. Over time, they grew close, sharing their dreams and fears. Emily found herself drawn to his world of colors and canvases, and Michael found a muse in Emily's kindness and beauty. Their love blossomed, and the townspeople watched with joy as the two became inseparable. But life, as it often does, had other plans. Emily had always struggled with a mysterious illness that doctors couldn't quite diagnose. Some days she was full of life, but others left her bedridden and weak. Michael stood by her side, his love unwavering, but the shadow of her illness loomed over their happiness. They vowed to cherish each moment, never knowing what the future held. One summer, Michael received an offer to showcase his art in a prestigious gallery in the city. It was a dream come true, but it meant leaving the town and Emily. They faced a heart-wrenching decision. Emily, not wanting to hold him back, encouraged Michael to go. "I'll be right here, waiting for you," she promised. With a heavy heart, Michael left, swearing he'd return soon. The days turned into weeks and the weeks into months. Michael's career flourished, but the distance strained their relationship. Emily's health deteriorated, and she kept her suffering hidden from Michael, not wanting to burden him. She wrote letters, pouring her heart out, but never sent them, fearing it would distract him from his success. One fateful night, as Michael was preparing for his biggest exhibition yet, he received a call. Emily had collapsed and was in critical condition. His world shattered. Without a second thought, he abandoned everything and rushed back to the town. The journey felt endless, his heart heavy with fear and regret. When Michael finally arrived, he found Emily in a hospital bed, frail and pale. Her once vibrant eyes were now dimmed with pain. She mustered a weak smile when she saw him. "I told you I'd be here," she whispered. Michael broke down, holding her hand, apologizing for not being there when she needed him most. Emily's condition worsened rapidly. As the days passed, Michael never left her side, reading her the unsent letters she had written. They relived their memories, from the stormy night they met to the quiet moments by the sea. In her final moments, Emily whispered, "Promise me you'll keep painting. Show the world the beauty we found in each other." With a final, tearful kiss, Emily slipped away, leaving Michael to grapple with a grief that felt unbearable. He was devastated, but he kept his promise. Michael's art took on a new depth, each piece a tribute to Emily's memory. His work became renowned not just for its beauty, but for the story it told, a story of a love that was too powerful to fade. Years passed, and Michael never stopped loving Emily. On the anniversary of her passing, he would visit their favorite spot by the sea, speaking to her as if she were right beside him. His paintings continued to capture their love, touching the hearts of those who saw them. People would often ask about the woman in his art, and with a bittersweet smile, Michael would tell them about Emily, the love of his life. One particularly stormy night, much like the one when they first met, Michael sat by the sea, a canvas in front of him. As the waves crashed and the wind howled, he painted with a fervor he hadn't felt in years. He poured his soul onto the canvas, capturing the essence of their love one last time. Exhausted, he fell asleep by the shore, clutching the painting. The next morning, the townspeople found him there, peacefully resting with a serene smile on his face, as if he had found his way back to Emily. In his hands was the final painting, a masterpiece that depicted the two of them together, their love eternal. Michael had passed away, but his legacy lived on through his art, and the story of a love that could not be broken by distance, illness, or even death. The gallery in the city, where Michael had first gained fame, dedicated an entire wing to his works. Visitors from around the world came to see the paintings, moved to tears by the story they told. Emily and Michael's love had transcended the bounds of their small town, touching the hearts of countless people, proving that true love never truly dies. As the years rolled by, Michael's art continued to captivate audiences worldwide. His love for Emily was immortalized in every brushstroke, but as his fame grew, so did the attention he received from admirers. Among them was a woman named Laura, a strikingly beautiful and ambitious gallery owner who was determined to make a name for herself in the art world. Laura was enamored with Michael's talent and the tragic love story that fueled his work. She sought him out, offering to represent him exclusively, promising even greater success. Despite his initial hesitation, Michael eventually agreed, grateful for the opportunity to further share Emily's memory with the world. However, Laura's interest in Michael was more than professional. Laura began to spend more time with Michael, showering him with attention and admiration. She was everything Emily was not, vibrant, worldly, and alive. Michael found himself drawn to her, though a part of him still clung to Emily's memory. Laura, sensing his internal conflict, slowly and subtly worked to insert herself into his life. She was patient, waiting for the right moment to make her move. One night, after a particularly successful gallery opening, Laura invited Michael to celebrate. They shared a bottle of wine, and Laura, seeing the vulnerability in Michael's eyes, leaned in and kissed him. Caught off guard and under the influence, Michael kissed her back. That night marked the beginning of a tumultuous affair, one that Michael couldn't quite reconcile with his lingering feelings for Emily. The affair with Laura became a source of guilt and confusion for Michael. He was torn between his undying love for Emily and the new, intense emotions Laura stirred in him. Laura, sensing his hesitation, became increasingly manipulative. She used every opportunity to remind Michael of his loneliness and the empty void Emily had left behind, positioning herself as the solution to his sorrow. Meanwhile, Michael's childhood friend, David, who had always harbored feelings for Emily, watched the unfolding relationship with suspicion. He had been there for Michael after Emily's death, supporting him through his grief. David had always been wary of Laura's intentions, seeing her as a threat to Michael's legacy and the pure love he had shared with Emily. Laura's influence over Michael grew, and soon she convinced him to marry her. The wedding was a lavish affair, far removed from the simple, heartfelt ceremony Michael had once dreamed of with Emily. On the surface, it appeared that Michael had moved on and found happiness again, but deep inside, a part of him remained trapped in the past. As their marriage progressed, cracks began to show. Laura's true nature emerged. She was controlling and possessive, using Michael's fame to further her own ambitions. Michael, who had once found solace in his art, now struggled to create anything that resonated with the passion he had once felt. His work became darker, reflecting the turmoil within him. David, unable to stand by and watch his friend's descent, confronted Michael one evening. "This isn't you, Michael. Emily wouldn't want this for you. You're losing yourself to someone who doesn't love you the way she did." Michael, already consumed with doubt, was shaken by David's words. For the first time, he saw the truth in his friend's concern. Michael decided to take a step back from his career and reassess his life. He spent more time alone, reflecting on his decisions and the path he had taken. Laura, threatened by his withdrawal, grew more desperate and manipulative. She planted seeds of doubt in Michael's mind, suggesting that David was trying to sabotage their marriage out of jealousy. Caught in a web of lies and manipulation, Michael's trust in David began to waver. Laura's accusations and constant presence made it difficult for him to see clearly. The once steadfast bond between Michael and David started to erode, leaving Michael feeling more isolated than ever. One evening, Laura's schemes took a sinister turn. She hired a private investigator to fabricate evidence of an affair between David and another woman. Armed with this false information, she confronted Michael, playing the victim and claiming David had betrayed them both. Michael, already struggling with his emotions, felt a wave of anger and betrayal wash over him. Blinded by the supposed evidence and his own insecurities, Michael confronted David in a heated argument. The confrontation escalated, and years of suppressed emotions came to the surface. David, hurt by Michael's accusations and blinded by his own feelings of betrayal, finally revealed his true feelings for Emily. "I loved her too, Michael. But I stood by you because she chose you, and now you're throwing everything away for someone who doesn't care about you or your art." The truth of David's words hit Michael like a tidal wave. He realized how far he had strayed from the person he once was, the person Emily had loved. In a moment of clarity, Michael knew he needed to confront Laura and reclaim his life. He gathered the courage to confront her, demanding the truth. Laura, seeing her carefully constructed world crumble, lashed out. She admitted to her manipulations, her deceit, and her desire to control Michael. She taunted him with his vulnerabilities, trying to break him one last time. But Michael, fueled by the memory of Emily and the love they had shared, stood firm. "I won't let you destroy what I have left of her," he said, his voice steady. "I loved Emily with all my heart, and I won't let her memory be tainted by your lies." With that, Michael walked away, leaving Laura to face the consequences of her actions. He sought out David, apologizing for his blindness and the pain he had caused. Their friendship, though strained, began to heal as they worked through their shared grief and betrayal. Michael returned to his art, pouring his heart into each piece. His work began to reflect a new sense of clarity and purpose, honoring Emily's memory and the lessons he had learned. He found solace in the simplicity of his life, free from the toxic influence of Laura. Years later, Michael held an exhibition showcasing his journey through love, loss, and redemption. The final piece was a tribute to Emily, capturing the essence of their love and the enduring impact she had on his life. It was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of love to heal even the deepest wounds. As visitors admired the artwork, Michael felt a sense of peace wash over him. He had come full circle, finding his way back to the person Emily had loved. The pain of betrayal and loss had shaped him, but it had also led him to a place of understanding and acceptance. Michael had found his way back to himself, carrying Emily's love with him every step of the way. Years passed, and Michael's life, though more stable, remained filled with shadows from the past. His friendship with David had become a cornerstone, and his art continued to heal him. Yet, life had more trials in store. One summer, Michael met Clara at a charity event. She was a nurse, compassionate and kind, with a warmth that drew him in. Their connection was immediate and deep, unlike anything Michael had felt since Emily. Clara had her own scars, having lost her husband to a sudden illness, and their shared understanding of loss brought them closer. Michael and Clara's relationship blossomed quickly. She encouraged his art and helped him find joy in everyday moments. For the first time in years, Michael allowed himself to love fully again. They married in a small, intimate ceremony, surrounded by friends, including David, who had grown close to Clara as well. Their happiness, however, was soon tested. Clara fell ill with a mysterious condition that baffled doctors. She experienced severe fatigue, pain, and frequent hospital visits became their new normal. Michael stood by her side, desperate to find a cure, but the strain took a toll on their relationship. Clara, once so vibrant, became consumed by her illness, and Michael, overwhelmed with fear and helplessness, struggled to remain hopeful. Arguments became frequent. Michael's frustration with the medical system and his own powerlessness often led to outbursts. Clara, feeling like a burden, withdrew emotionally. The intimacy they once shared faded under the weight of their circumstances. Michael's art, which had always been his refuge, now seemed hollow. David, seeing the cracks in their relationship, tried to intervene. "You can't let this illness destroy what you've built together, Michael. Remember what you learned from Emily. Love is resilient, but it needs both of you to fight for it." Michael took David's words to heart. He began to seek therapy, hoping to manage his anxiety and better support Clara. He also joined a support group for spouses of chronically ill patients, finding solace in shared experiences. Slowly, he started to regain his strength and perspective. One particularly difficult night, after another argument, Clara broke down. "I hate seeing you like this, Michael. I hate what this illness has done to us. I don't want to be the reason you suffer." Michael held her close, tears streaming down his face. "I love you, Clara. I'm not giving up on us. We'll get through this together." Their journey was far from easy. Clara's health fluctuated, and there were times when both of them felt on the brink of breaking. But they learned to communicate better, to lean on each other and on their support systems. Michael rediscovered his passion for art, using it as a medium to express their struggles and hopes. Clara, when able, joined him in the studio, her presence a reminder of the love that sustained them. One winter, after a particularly harsh bout of illness, Clara's condition began to stabilize. The doctors finally found a treatment plan that seemed to work. It wasn't a cure, but it gave them hope. They celebrated small victories, like Clara having enough energy to walk in the park or enjoy a meal without pain. Despite the improvement, their relationship was forever changed. The trials had left scars, but also a deeper understanding and appreciation for each other. They renewed their vows in a quiet ceremony, reaffirming their commitment to face whatever came their way. Michael's art flourished once again, reflecting their journey of love, loss, and resilience. His latest series, titled Resilient Hearts, became a testament to their enduring bond. It captured moments of despair and hope, the fragility and strength of human connection. Years later, as they stood hand in hand at an exhibition of Michael's work, Clara whispered, "We made it, didn't we?" Michael squeezed her hand, a tear of gratitude in his eye. Yes, we did, together. Their story, marked by illness and strife, had also been one of unwavering love and perseverance. They had faced the darkest moments, but their hearts had remained resilient, finding light in each other's presence. Their journey, though painful, had strengthened their bond, proving that love, even in the face of adversity, could endure and triumph. Years went by, and despite the stability that Michael and Clara had managed to find, life remained a constant test of their resilience. Clara's health fluctuated, and while there were good days, the bad ones often seemed to overshadow them. The disease had taken a toll on both of them, and the once vibrant energy that filled their home began to dim. One autumn evening, Clara's condition took a sudden turn for the worse. The pain was more intense than ever, and the doctors struggled to find a reason. Michael stayed by her side, his heart breaking as he watched the woman he loved suffer. Despite their best efforts, it became clear that Clara's body was giving up. In the hospital, surrounded by the sterile smell of antiseptics and the beeping of machines, Clara looked at Michael with tear-filled eyes. "I'm so sorry, Michael. I wanted to be strong for you, for us, but I can't fight this anymore." Michael's voice cracked as he held her hand. "Don't apologize, my love. You've fought harder than anyone could have asked. I'm so proud of you, and I love you more than words can say." Clara managed a weak smile, her eyes reflecting the deep bond they shared. "Promise me you'll keep living, Michael. Keep painting. Keep finding beauty in this world. Don't let my absence take that away from you." With a heavy heart, Michael nodded, tears streaming down his face. "I promise, Clara, I'll carry your love with me always." Clara passed away that night, her hand in Michael's, as he whispered words of love and comfort to her until her last breath. The days that followed were a blur of grief and sorrow. The emptiness in their home was unbearable, and Michael found himself lost in a sea of memories and what-ifs. He returned to his art, as Clara had asked, but each brushstroke felt like a reminder of his loss. Friends and family tried to support him, but the void left by Clara was one that no one could fill. Michael poured his pain into his paintings, creating a series titled Shattered Hearts. The artwork, raw and emotional, depicted his journey through grief, loss, and the haunting beauty of memories. One painting stood out among the rest, a portrait of Clara, surrounded by a dark, stormy background. Her figure was illuminated by a soft, ethereal light, symbolizing the love that continued to guide him even in her absence. The piece resonated deeply with many, capturing the universal pain of losing a loved one. Years went by, and Michael's art continued to evolve, but the ache of Clara's absence never truly faded. He honored her memory in every piece, keeping her spirit alive through his work. His gallery became a place of solace for others who had experienced similar losses, a testament to the enduring power of love and the human capacity for resilience. In his later years, Michael often found himself sitting in their favorite park, watching the seasons change and remembering the times he and Clara had spent there. The laughter, the tears, the quiet moments of understanding, all etched in his heart forever. One winter's day, As snow gently fell around him, Michael felt a peaceful acceptance settle in. He had kept his promise to Clara, living a life filled with beauty and creativity. As he closed his eyes, he could almost feel her presence beside him, a warm and comforting embrace. And in that moment, surrounded by the quiet beauty of a snowy landscape, Michael whispered his final words to the love of his life. "I'll see you soon, my love." When they found him the next morning, a serene smile graced his face, and in his hand, a small, weathered sketchbook lay open to a drawing of Clara, forever illuminated by the light of their undying love. As the years went on, Michael found solace in his art and the gallery he had built in memory of Clara. The gallery, known as Shattered Hearts, became a sanctuary for those who had experienced loss and were seeking comfort. Visitors would often leave notes of gratitude, sharing how Michael's art had helped them navigate their own grief. One spring, a young artist named Emily visited the gallery. She had lost her fiancé in a tragic accident and had been struggling to find a way to express her pain. When she saw Michael's paintings, she felt an immediate connection. Emily introduced herself to Michael, and they quickly formed a bond over their shared experiences of loss. Emily began working at the gallery, assisting Michael with various tasks and eventually showcasing her own art. Their friendship blossomed, and Michael became a mentor to Emily, guiding her through her journey of healing. Together, they organized workshops and support groups for those dealing with grief, turning the gallery into a community hub. Despite the positive changes, Michael still felt Clara's absence deeply. One day, while going through some of Clara's old belongings, he found a letter she had written to him before she passed away. In it, Clara expressed her love and gratitude for their life together, urging Michael to keep living fully and to open his heart to new experiences. Inspired by Clara's words, Michael decided to take a trip to the countryside where he and Clara had spent their honeymoon. He invited Emily to join him, thinking it might be a good opportunity for both of them to find inspiration and peace. The trip was filled with bittersweet memories, but it also allowed Michael to see the world through fresh eyes. One evening, as they sat by a campfire, Emily shared her own story of love and loss. Her vulnerability touched Michael deeply, and he realized how much he had come to care for her. However, guilt and fear of betraying Clara's memory held him back from expressing his feelings. As they returned to the city, Michael was plagued by inner turmoil. He wanted to honor Clara's memory, but also knew that life was about moving forward. One day, while working at the gallery, he found a sketch that Emily had made of him and Clara together. It was a beautiful piece, capturing the essence of their love. Tears welled up in Michael's eyes as he looked at the sketch. Emily approached him, her eyes filled with understanding. "It's okay to love again, Michael. Clara would want you to be happy." Michael nodded, finally allowing himself to accept that moving forward didn't mean forgetting Clara. He and Emily slowly began to explore their feelings for each other, taking their time to ensure that their relationship was built on mutual respect and understanding. Just as their relationship was blossoming, a fire broke out in the gallery one night. Michael and Emily managed to escape unharmed, but many of their cherished artworks were destroyed. The community rallied around them, offering support and donations to help rebuild. This incident brought Michael and Emily even closer as they worked together to restore what they had lost. During the rebuilding process, Michael began to experience health issues. He tried to brush them off, but Emily insisted he see a doctor. The diagnosis was devastating. Michael had a serious heart condition that required immediate surgery. The news shook them both, bringing back painful memories of Clara's illness. Emily stood by Michael's side through every step of his treatment, reminding him of the strength and resilience they had both found through their shared experiences. The surgery was successful, but Michael's recovery was long and arduous. During this time, he reflected on his life and the importance of cherishing every moment. Once Michael was well enough, he and Emily decided to take a break from the city and travel. They visited places that had inspired Michael's art and explored new destinations together. Their love deepened with each adventure, and they found joy in the simple moments they shared. After several months of traveling, they returned to the city with a renewed sense of purpose. They reopened the gallery with a grand exhibition titled Resilience, featuring new works inspired by their journey together. The exhibition was a huge success, drawing attention from art critics and the media. One evening, after the gallery had closed, Michael and Emily sat together, reflecting on their incredible journey. Michael took Emily's hand and looked into her eyes. "I never thought I could love again after Clara, but you've shown me that it's possible to find joy and meaning even after the darkest times." Emily smiled, tears glistening in her eyes. "And you've taught me that love and loss are both part of the same journey. I'm so grateful to have found you, Michael." Their bond, forged through shared pain and healing, grew stronger with each passing day. They knew that life would continue to throw challenges their way, but they were ready to face them together. Their love story was a testament to the power of resilience, proving that even in the face of heartbreak, hope and love could still flourish. In the years that followed, Michael and Emily continued to inspire those around them, their gallery becoming a beacon of hope for many. Their story was one of enduring love, a reminder that even after the most profound losses, new beginnings were always possible. And so, they lived their lives, hand in hand, hearts intertwined, forever grateful for the love they had found in each other's arms. Their journey was not without its struggles, but it was filled with a love that transcended time, pain, and loss. A love that would be remembered long after they were gone.